Hello everyone. So you're braver than you believe, and you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. So I learned this very early in life because my mother used to repeat these lines to me almost every day morning for about a week. Repeat them every year because my dad would move out from one place to another, and I would be changing schools much faster than my wardrobe. And trust me, I was in trauma every day morning, or rather the previous night. The fear of a new school, the fear of new classmates, the fear of new teachers, and the fear of the whole atmosphere would make me go crying. And my mom would tell me these lines in the morning, and I would repeat them while going to school. And by the time I would reach school, I would start faking it, that it's okay. I would start faking it, that I am confident. But slowly, that changed into a habit. A habit which I developed to be confident, a habit to accept change, a habit to adapt. That doesn't mean that I wasn't in trauma every time a change used to happen. I used to be still fearful and apprehensive and scared about the new change. But my body started registering all the changes that used to happen within me every time a change would take place. And my brain rather would look forward to the dopamine being pumped into my head. Because everybody knows that slowly, when you adapt to change, that's the thing. What happens once you changing? There are always two parts in your mind and your body. One is pulling you backwards. That's the larger elephant. And one is pushing you forward. That's a small Maharat who's sitting on the elephant. So one's telling you, oh, this is not what I wanted. I'm too scared for this. Oh, I'm feeling too stuck in all this. The earlier was better. While the other part is telling you, oh, it's new. It's something I'm going to learn. It's something different. So there are two kinds of feeling, On one side, you have a feeling of being stuck, of being bored, okay? And you have the feeling of want of safety, to go back to your cocoon. The other side, you have feelings of growth, you have confidence, and you have adventure. So let's look at it this way, rather than just wanting to get out of the not wanting to get out of the safety cocoon. Let's look at it this way, that if we take growth and confidence, together, what does that make? That gives us momentum, which is exactly opposite of the feeling of being stuck. And if you have confidence and adventure, what do you get? You get excitement, which is completely opposite of being bored. And when you have adventure and growth, there is a complete transformation which would be completely opposite of your safety zone. And all these three together, the momentum, the excitement, and the transformation is what leads to transformation. Somehow, if we can weave this idea into our lives, this idea of growing, this idea of getting confidence from that growth, and this idea of looking at life with a much more adventurous streak, change would not be so daunting and it would not be so hard. One of the greatest changes that happened in my life was when I joined the Air Force Academy. And trust me, nothing in life prepared me for the kind of training that I was going to get into. And the moment I tread on that path of change, I panicked. And suddenly, the aim of becoming an Air Force officer diminished, and the whole path of uncertainty, the whole path of struggle was the one which was lit up by neon signs. And trust me, I just wanted to give in. On the second day of my training, I thought I was going to run away from this place. But there was one small voice somewhere there which was telling me that someone before me has been here. Someone before me has tried. Someone before me was weaker than I am right now. So I can do anything I choose to do, like that someone, or even better. It's for me to decide. At any given point, you have the power to choose and say that this is now not how the story is going to end. Thereafter, the guard of honor happened, like was mentioned. And I was somehow the protagonist of the whole change of history that was happening. While I was just there trying to perform my duty and doing a perfect job at that, I suddenly realized that there was a bigger role to play. While all this was happening before that, that's the training. If you see that, that's pretty little face packs that we got to put when we were in training. And do you know the beautiful and the wonderful expensive rides that we took? Those were the rides and the wheels we got to draw. And you get a whole luxurious room to yourselves. Don't forget that. The whole entire room is to yourself. So all this was happening, and then it kind of made me into a person who was thriving for new places, for new adventures, new people. And this is what takes you forward. This is what makes you want to grab more opportunities, take more initiatives, push much harder, and that gives you an edge over everything else. So like I was just saying, is that when the God of Honor happened, and I suddenly found myself to be part of a bigger role which was happening in society. It suddenly became the face and the center of the changing roles of women and, the empowerment of women happening around in society. When a pioneer is there, a pioneer's success plays a very important role in the social development cycle. Because through that pioneer and through that person, the unconscious part becomes conscious, the unaware becomes aware. So what happens is, while this wasn't an intrinsic change which I was going through, but it was a change, it was a recognition of change which is happening in society, in institutions and across India which was happening. So I suddenly realized that it had more to be done to it, which an influencer, it is to lead, It's not very important just to be the first person, but it's very important to be able to influence and to take that forward. So I got into the task of kind of influencing children and influencing youngsters, the youth, and especially girls, to do more than what you're stereotyped to do. And just not to do it, but to probably excel in it much further. Each one of us has that ability to bring a change and to be able to influence people. Let's have a look and think that we all want to change, right? Whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's your relationship, whether it's at home, or whether it's society, or whether probably it's just your colony, or whether it's just that you want to get thinner. But something stops us. Something stops us and takes it away from it. Why? Let's look at that. Why do we not change so easily? So the very first thing is uncertainty. When you get onto a change, something is happening, you do not know how it's going to turn out to be. Whether it's going to be better than before. So there is a big question of uncertainty. But when you change, you have to be cool with the fact that you do not know how it's going to turn out to be, but you're going to do it anyway. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be vulnerable. But you have to let go of the certainty. You have to let go of the settled life to be able to venture into the unknown. The second part that comes through is mockery, judgment. People judge you. And let me tell you, whether you succeed, whether you fail, or whether you just sit like a vegetable, people will judge you anyway. So let's not be scared of people judging you, of rejection. Because whenever you will change yourself or try to change anything in society, some people will not like it. Everybody looks at you through a conception cage of what you would have been before. But you, what you are, is not tethered to the past. Coming on to the third most important thing about change is struggle, hardship, exhaustion. When you change, there is a requirement of a tremendous self-control within you, and that leads to major exhaustion. You have to be willing to go through the struggle because the path will be one of struggle. You have to struggle to stay focused with that discipline. You have to know that it's going to be trying on your mind, body, and soul, but still go on. What you need to do is try to rise and grow up to your full potential. And how do you do that? The very first thing that you need to do to be able to grow to your full potential is stop telling yourself the BS story that why you can't achieve it. That's the very first thing that you need to do. You need to know that when you bring about a change, in spite of the uncertainty, in spite of the rejection, in spite of people judging you, and in spite of everything else, you can do it. But it's going to be very hard. It's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, anybody could have done it, right? If it was easy, we would not feel alive when we do the things. If it was easy, we would not be growing. So what you need to do is get up in the morning and take a deep breath and think, what do I do of that thunder and power inside me? What do I do today? What do I show to the world? What change am I going to bring about in myself or outside? What you need to do is take the first step. The best thing that you can do is the right thing. The next big thing that you can do is the wrong thing. The worst thing that you can do is nothing at all. I'll leave you with these two words, I am, which are the most powerful words, because after I am, what you put after these two words is what shapes your reality.